Everybody, and thank you for joining us. My name is Ben Kilcoyne, and I'm the Communications Manager with Olive Group, developers of the MC2 platform, and it's great to have you with us. As we approach Christmas, we reflect that it's time for caring, which is caring for oneself, but also for those in our communities. And in this period of great uncertainty with the coronavirus pandemic and Brexit, we want to show people some positive takes on transitioning from one job sector to another. So it gives me great pleasure to be here today in partnership with Learning Curve Group and Somerset Care to discuss opportunities around the health and social care sector. For this evening's session, we're going to look at the care sector through the eyes of a training provider and an employer to help you understand what employers are looking for and to outline what training will help you transition into the care sector. To help us do this, we're joined by two guest speakers, Steve Morris and Lauren Lucas. Steve is the Commercial Director at Learning Curve Group, who are a national training provider and are responsible for upskilling and reskilling individuals across a host of sectors, most significantly in care. In fact, through a mix of e-learning, apprenticeships, commercial training, employability programs, and more recently Kickstart, Learning Curve help over 100,000 learners every year. Steve himself has over 20 years experience gained in the world's largest and most successful recruitment, training and HR consultancies, and he's acquired a deep expertise within the world of work and learning. Our second speaker this evening is Lauren Lucas. Lauren is a flexible workforce manager with Somerset Care, one of the largest care providers in the Southwest. She is currently working to grow their internal bank staff team, creating new hiring opportunities, developing a more flexible workforce, and streamlining the support of external agencies. Lauren is extremely passionate about working for Somerset Care and the fantastic work that they do to support their staff and customers, and the work they do with local councils and hospitals to overcome the challenges faced by the care sector. Before I introduce our first speaker, I'd like to call on you, our audience, to submit any questions you have for the short Q&A session that we have planned for the end. This will give our speakers the opportunity to answer any questions you may have, and you can do this by clicking the Q&A tab at the bottom of your webinar screen, or by simply leaving a comment on the YouTube page that you're watching from. To our audience, again, please be aware that you'll be on mute and that this live session will be recorded. Okay, I think we're ready to hear from our speakers, so I'd like to welcome Steve. Steve.
Cheers, Ben. Thanks ever so much for the introduction. What I'm going to do is just share a presentation with you. So just bear with me 2 seconds, and I will do that. And then Owen and I will be able to talk through the presentation, which typically is not coming up as I speak at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. So we've just done a dry run of it. It worked absolutely perfectly. And just now it is playing technology games with us. So just bear with me 1 second, please. And I will share this for you. Right. Here we go. There we go. Right. This should work for you this time. Hopefully that's worked. The beauty of technology. Apology there, folks. So thank you very much for the introduction, Ben. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to people this evening. Both myself and Lauren will cover I suppose what is required to move from and transition from one sector to another. Lauren will obviously focus on some more in-depth and insight into life at Somerset Care and obviously in the care sector specifically. And I'll focus more on the I suppose the training opportunities that will help people. As the front slide says, it's about sort of resetting and reskilling. We're in a world of sort of recovery and change at this moment in time. So what I'll do is give you a bit more insight into hopefully a more cheery outlook, really, in terms of for the future. Just very quickly, I know Ben hinted at some aspects of this, but for those of you who don't know, I said my name's Steve Morris. I'm the Commercial Director at Learning Curve Group. We're a Sunday Times Top 100 employer, and we're a national training provider, basically. So in totality, we help over 100,000 learners each year. and we help somewhere in the region of about 4,500 employers with their workforce training. And that involves both sort of recruitment and training. The good news, I guess, is that many of our employers, Somerset Care is a classic example, are in working sectors that are both diverse, but more importantly, resilient sectors to everything that is happening around us in the world at the moment. So we not only have employers in health and social care, but also in the public sector, in the IT and digital sectors, and in food retail. As we're well aware, these sectors have proved to be very resilient at the moment to the not really to change, but to the economic climate that is around us. And I'll talk a little bit about COVID-19, and but I want to just talk first of all, I guess, about the changing world of work. We offer a range, as Ben hinted, we offer a range of different training solutions for both employees and employers, and I will pick out some of those different types of opportunities that we've got. But I thought it's probably worth just reflecting, I think, first of all, that times are changing, and I guess the future of work is changing. Probably highlight really a recent sort of McKinsey report that highlighted how sort of automation and AI are and also probably the mobility of talent are changing and impacting the job market. I think there's a quite a scary stat that says something like 15 million jobs will be taken over by robots in the not too distant future. So I guess whether we like it or not, things are changing. There's no doubt as well that we can't go through a session without mentioning COVID-19, and that I'm afraid has impacted some industries more than others. It's interesting to note that the top 3 industry sectors impacted are wholesale and retail counts as one sector, manufacturing, and accommodation and food services. Those 3 sectors alone have not only been impacted by COVID-19, but they've also had a double whammy because they've also been hit and impacted by sort of automation as well. So, I think what COVID has probably done as fast forwarded some of the impact on those sectors. This is all relevant because a lot of the training that we provide is supporting not only those sectors, but people transitioning out of some of those sectors and giving people some of the new skills. So I think, as I said, the employment impact of COVID has really probably hastened up the transition into new jobs and the need for new skills. Again, I think it's a McKinsey report. I'm sure it's McKinsey that said that something like 21 million people in Europe now, because of COVID, may have to leave declining industries. So if you're one of those people that is impacted, I think you're far from alone at this moment in time. So it did make me think the other day that society generally is changing. I guess, and it's probably, if I see it through my own eyes, my dad worked in one career at British Rail for 35 years and probably never ever thought about changing jobs. If I look at myself, I've worked in my 25 years plus, I've worked in 3 distinct sectors, in finance, in recruitment, and latterly in training. And then when I reflect and think about my children or whatever there, I think it's very likely that they will probably work in somewhere between 5 and 10 sectors. So we can see very much how significantly the world of work is changing. I suppose so what? So what does that mean? It basically means that training and retraining will play an even bigger role in the future. And I think it is that retraining aspect that, many of us need to face the fact that throughout our careers, we will change jobs and we need to retrain in those sectors. Now, some of that training will happen prior to you joining a sector, and some of it will happen whilst you're on the job and working within that sector. And part of what Learning Curve actually offers are those different sort of opportunities, both pre-sector and post-sector. One of the sectors, or the sector that we want to focus on today, is the health and social care sector, and Lauren will give us a much deeper insight into that and to the world of Somerset Care. But I wanted just to take a little bit of time, if I can, to talk about some of the retraining that is potentially available for people at this moment in time who may have been impacted by redundancy. They may be staring down the barrel of a gun at potential redundancy, or they may just be looking ahead and think this is not the career option for me and I want to change and move to something either different or with more stability. And listen, I think there's no doubt about it that with an aging population that we've got, the world of health and social care is a very strong and very resilient sector. And I said the positive news is that because all of us will live longer than generally live longer than our own parents, and our own children will live longer than us, there is no doubt that the world of health and social care will continue to be resilient. So, as I said, we'll need different skills in that sector. Learning Curve Group offer a range of different courses that can broaden that skill set and either get you ready for transition or enable you, once you're in that role, to upskill into it. And just 2 more minutes, I'll tell you an insight into some of those. So I'll talk to you later on after Lauren's finished about some of those flexible learning courses. So these are short courses that are absolutely free. I hate the word free because people then associate no value with it. They're not actually free. They're government funded. But these are short courses that are online learning that we deliver over 50 of those different courses. And I'll show you probably about 20 odd of them after Lauren has finished that will give you, they're very much designed for the health and social care sector, and they'll give you an insight into the sort of things that you could do now if you are thinking of moving into the health and social care sector, that will give you both an indication of what life is a little bit like within that sector, but also give you a qualification, and it's a level 2 qualification, which is sort of the equivalent of a GCSE. It's not a GCSE because you can basically do these courses in about 12 to 15 hours of study. And I said they're all government funded, so they're certainly the sort of things that are for people who are impacted or thinking of a change or just interested could have a look at, as well as relevant ones for sectors. There's also ones like mental health and mental health first aid, which are incredibly popular at the moment. They have been popular for the last couple of years, to be honest with you, but there's courses in that you can take that help you build resilience in case you're impacted at the moment. One of the other things I just wanted to mention was, as you can see on the list, there was apprenticeships, and there's a lot of good apprenticeships within the health and social care sector that can help you upskill on the actual job itself, and Lauren may make some mention of that as we move forward. There's also the Learning Curve offer redundancy support. So again, this is government funded training to help you if you are impacted by redundancy, and to help you with CV preparation, with interview techniques, to make sure that you're better equipped for jobs in the future. So hopefully that's just given you a taster, I guess, of what we do. I think for most of us, we're very interested in hearing about what is life like within the health and social care sector, one of these resilient sectors. So I'm going to move the slide on and let Lauren tell you a bit of an insight into Somerset Care and what they offer, and then I'll pick up after Lauren. So over to you, Lauren.
Fab. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Ben, for your introduction. As you all know, my name is Lauren Lucas. I work for Somerset Care. What I thought I would do is just give you a bit of information about us as an organisation and what we actually do. So originally we were part of Somerset County Council. We started our own journey in 1991. We are still really good friends with Somerset County Council. We work really quite closely together. We are one of the largest care providers across the region. So not only do we work with Somerset County Council, we work quite closely with local hospitals and hospitals and counties outside of the county. We've got 27 care homes across Somerset. They're providing residential care, nursing care, dementia care, and we also have one care home in the Isle of Wight. We provide community care across Somerset, Devon, Wiltshire and Baines. We have a home in Taunton called the Halcon Centre, and they provide respite care to those with physical disabilities. Our Realise team support those with learning disabilities to live independently and work to remove any barriers our customers can encounter, which in turn enables them to live more fulfilled and independent lives. We're involved in transforming care, so we work quite closely with Somerset County Council to support people that have had a long stay in a mental health facility. We support them to live independently and help them to achieve their personal goals. We also work to provide 2 pathways of reablement care. So pathway number 1 is in the community. So it's short-term support to get people out of the hospital, providing them with a package of care to help them get back on their feet. We also support pathway 2, which is provided on the top floor of our care home in Yeovil called Cookson's Court. Again, it's a short-term stay in a home with physiotherapists and occupational therapists to support people that have been in hospital for an operation or something, but needs help to gain a bit of strength to get them home. We are a not-for-profit organisation, so any money that we do make goes straight back into the company, and that's to enable us to support our staff and support our customers as best as possible. We currently have 3,200 staff working within Somerset Care. Can you go to the...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
So just a little bit about the care sector. The care sector have 1.6 million people working in it. Just to put that into perspective, the NHS have 1.4 million people working for them. Nationally, there are 114,000 vacancies in the sector across all job roles. So there's a huge variety of different job roles within care. So yes, we are looking for care assistants and nurses, but we also employ cooks and chefs, IT specialists, HR personnel. We have learning and development roles and even roles within our customer service teams. Somerset Care currently have more than 100 vacancies, and as mentioned in the introduction, we are looking to expand our bank staff team, hopefully to enable us to streamline the support of agency usage. We offer apprenticeships in care, HR, admin, production chefs, AAT, facilities management, and we offer an awful lot of support to get you started into any new role. Thanks, Steve. So there's a little bit up on the screen there. We, as a company, recently developed a new mission statement, vision and values, and these feed through everything we do, every decision we make, and every action that we take. They were developed through meetings with staff across the whole business. And what they do is outline what is important to all of us and describe how we want to work with our colleagues, customers, their families, suppliers, regulators, and other stakeholders. Our values are a big part of what makes Somerset Care such a caring and professional organisation. So our mission statement is to support people to live the life that they choose. And our vision is that we aim to be a care provider of choice. So when people think of excellent care, they think of the Somerset Care Group. So our values that support this are to connect with people, make a difference, do the right thing, and embrace change. And as you can see on the screen, there is a little bit more under each section about those if you wanted to have a little look. This year in particular has shown the world how invaluable care providers are, as Steve has mentioned, and have shown us some truly remarkable stories of putting a smile on the faces of those that need it most. Care is more than just a job, it is a vocation. You really, really make a difference to people's lives. There is so much reward, satisfaction, and so many opportunities to meet new people. Experience isn't always necessary. You could be new to care, returning back to care, or moving from another care provider. We do have jobs available. As I mentioned, we do offer excellent training and career development, care certificates, apprenticeships, traineeships. We can offer guaranteed or flexible hours, both full and part-time. If you just wanted to give it a try, you could join the bank team and then you can give it a try without any kind of contractual obligation. We offer competitive rates of pay. We also give you access to a website called WageStream, which gives you access to your wages before you're actually paid. We provide free uniform where necessary, DBS checks, PPE, access to my caring rewards, which is fantastic. It's a comprehensive, flexible employee benefits program, so you can save money on leading high street and online retailers. And finally, for me, we have an amazing specialist recruitment team at Somerset Care. They can help identify a job that would suit your skills. So please, if care is something that you are considering, give us a call. The phone number's up on the screen there, and we can have a look and see if we've got the job for you. Thank you, Steve.
Great, thanks, Lauren. Oh, I assume you are part of that amazing Somerset Care recruitment.
That's why it's amazing.
No bias there, then. Right. What I wanted to do was then just give you a little bit of an insight into some of those short online courses, flexible learning we call it at Learning Curve, that allow you, if you're interested in care as a sector, and you want to just understand a little bit more about it before you go into it, or you might have somebody who's in care at the moment, a family member, and you want to understand a little bit more about that, or as I said, or quite frankly, you're looking for that career in care and you want to get a qualification before you actually start working it to enhance your chances of getting the job with the amazing recruitment team at Somerset Care, then there's or other care providers, then there's a number of short courses that we offer that are funded completely by the government. They come out of something called the Adult Education Budget, which is £1.5 billion a year that the government pump into upskilling the workforce, the English workforce. And there's a whole host of different ones in there. Obviously, one in adult social care itself. Some people might want to specialise in children's care. So there's children and young people's mental health or caring for young children, or might have a particular interest in, say, dementia care, if you might have an elder relative who's suffered with dementia and that has taken your interest or whatever, and or mental health awareness, health and social care professional qualification. So there's a whole range of different ones, but I'll not go through each and every one, but effectively, if anybody wants to do one of those, it's a really simple process. You need to register online. We can provide a link afterwards for this, or you can go to the Learning Curve website and enroll. And literally, I said, there's no cost involved. It's all government funded. And these will help you with that transition into the we believe, into the care sector. So what we would like to do really then, I guess, is use any sort of remaining time, I think, to look at any particular questions that people have actually got, because obviously we're trying to do something more general in terms of a sort of presentation, but there may be more specific things that people want to know. So as far as Lauren, Ben and myself are concerned, it's an opportunity really to ask any questions, either of myself, the training provider, or particularly of Lauren in terms of the employer. So can I pass back over to you, Ben?
Sure. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, certainly. We've got a couple of questions in there. We have the first one here is asking, will Brexit, and I think you might have touched on this a little bit, will Brexit affect my ability to transition across sectors?
I'll happily pick that one up first of all. In fact, if anything, the general consensus and belief is that Brexit might well help people in terms of moving sectors. Some and Lauren may have something to add here, but certain sectors like the care sector have had a fair contingent of foreign nationals actually working within the sector, and with the danger that many of those have either returned to their natural native country, or won't necessarily come across to the UK in future. There's a general belief that in sectors like care, there's even more demand to train up existing UK residents into the care sector. So I think bizarrely, Brexit might well actually be more of a help than a hindrance. I don't know whether you would agree. Lauren, feel free to disagree if you see it differently.
No, absolutely. I mean, we've obviously got things in place, and you know, we're advised to protect rights by applying to the EU settlement scheme. So, I mean, I do think that you've got it all covered there, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think we have another question here. This might be more for you, Lauren. There are some people who might be viewing from outside of the Somerset Care regions, and they want to know what the options are available to them. Can you maybe give them some guidance?
Yeah, I mean, to be entirely honest, the care sector as a whole, as I have mentioned in my slides, you know, we do really need people, and I would imagine that that's going to be the case across the country. The internet has a huge amount of information. There are so many different organisations, but what I would say is, if it is something that you are looking into, please give us a call. We're happy to have a chat with you, happy to point you in any direction. You know, let us know, and you know, we really appreciate the feedback and the questions, and happy to support you finding another organisation, you know, sort of similar to Somerset Care, that will also be looking.
Ben, just putting my former recruitment hat on, I mean, you've got job sites like indeed.co.uk, where you, depending on what type of role you are looking and what geographical area, if you're outside of Somerset Care's region, then you can absolutely Google away, use Indeed, and that will throw up numerous sort of employers. There's people like Bupa, Anchor, Bluebird Care, Home Care. I'll be causing pain here for Lauren if I keep naming lots of competitor organisations. So I better stop soon. But all that have different geographical regions that might be more available to different sort of individuals. I mean, you know, we've seen significant amounts of people move from the airline industry, from retail, from hospitality into the care world, because we've started to train people up with those sorts of backgrounds in care. So, you know, it's certainly a sector that will welcome people from a broad range of different employment sectors, and it's got a lot of national coverage as well. So, you know, literally there are care organisations in just about every town and city up and down the country. So that I'm fairly certain it is a sector that's got open arms for many people at the moment.
Interesting. Actually, that leads us to another question. what age range do people typically enter the care sector?
At the moment, I'm told that the average age for people working within the care sector is about 44. We are looking to recruit younger, we're looking to recruit older. I don't think that age, really makes a great deal of difference, if I'm being completely honest. There are organisations like Steve that want to support, that can provide the training. And, we as a company are absolutely fantastic at supporting people to develop their skills and, go off in different directions within Somerset Care. So I don't think, age is really sort of a factor in it.
No. I mean, to give you an idea, the oldest apprentice we have working in the care sector is 68. Right. So generally when people think apprenticeships, they think 16 to 18-year-olds. But we have a 68-year-old retraining in the care sector at the moment on an apprenticeship. So that will hopefully give you an idea of the breadth. Sometimes it's probably more challenging for 16 to 18-year-olds actually within the care sector, because they generally don't have some of the life experience or whatever to work in that sector. So I don't think it's, certainly in our experience, it's not a sector that puts up barriers as far as age is concerned.
No, not at all. Not at all. And we are involved in, sort of at the moment trying to encourage younger people into the care sector and providing training. So, I would most definitely, push on and be cool if it is something that you are, interested in.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Here's a very broad question. But what kinds of salaries can someone entering the industry maybe expect?
Like I've said, there are hundreds of different jobs within the care sector. I mean, if you are looking at, coming in as a carer, you're generally looking at starting on sort of just under £18,000 per year. But with support and development, there are all sorts of different opportunities for you. So, some of our managers are paid upwards of £40,000 a year, and we have office roles. It like I say, is a huge broad spectrum as far as salaries go, but there are opportunities to earn more money and and develop your skills and actually find out what it is you're really good at and move in different directions within care.
Right. Steve,
yeah, I think for most people changing sectors, salary is one of the things, whether it's care or other sectors, salary is one of the things you've got to think about, because literally you might have quite a lot of experience but may not have the relevant skill set at the moment. So it's a bit like changing ladders. You sometimes have to come down a ladder and start climbing the next one rather than move across always at the same level on that. From one ladder to the next, probably a bit dangerous from a health and safety point of view, I think, doing that. And in most professions, it's similar, that you've got to retrain. Now, hopefully, if you've got world experience and knowledge from another sector, you can quickly progress up that second ladder. So it is easier to do that because you've got certain transferable sort of skills. But I think you've always got to be prepared for, if you're entering a new sector, that one of the things you may have to take a view on is sort of salary initially.
Great. What would either of you have any advice for somebody who's just really about to start out in the sector? Say they're just toying with the idea and just about to embark on a career in the care sector. Any advice for somebody?
I think Lauren's probably the relevant one. You have the bank opportunity, don't you, where you don't have to 100% commit yourself. That there's the bank opportunity. I would obviously say, yes, do one of our training courses and get yourself equipped in that. But I think, Lauren, your route is probably as good a route as any, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We are looking to grow the bank team, and you could have a go, really. There's going to be no contractual obligation whatsoever. If you don't like it, then that's absolutely fine. You can step away. But our bank team don't just cover sort of care roles and nursing roles. We have administrators, we have cooks, we have chefs, all on our books, and they go around, you know, the different homes, and they do shifts in the different homes, and they learn an awful lot about the care sector and about various different homes and what's involved in those jobs, you know, without being tied into coming in 37 hours a week.
Great. Okay. So I think that's it with the questions at the moment. Do you guys have anything else that you maybe like to add at the end of this session?
I think just from myself, really, on a sort of positive note, as I said, you know, we as a nation, we seem to thrive on doom and gloom at the moment, and there's been plenty to be sort of doom and gloom about, whereas we have really got resilient sectors like health and social care that you know they are growing as sectors, and there are more and more jobs there. Unfortunately, we tend to hear more about manufacturing, wholesale, retail, all the bad news sort of stories, and we don't necessarily get the good news ones. And you know, generally there are jobs out there, there are opportunities out there. Yes, you may have to be flexible on salary, you may have to retrain, but sort of don't be dispirited. There is opportunity out there for people, and if people need help and assistance with areas like CV writing, employability skills, applying for jobs, again, there is help and support out there for people. So that's probably the comment I would make. Lauren, I've just given you time to think about a good answer.
I'm just stunned by your fabulous answer. I mean, I have absolutely nothing to add. I mean, there are, you know, certainly within the care sector, there are jobs available. And, you know, I don't just say this because I work for Somerset Care, but it really is quite wonderful to work for a care agency. The stories that you hear, you know, that you're actually impacting people's lives, and it really is quite something working within the care sector. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think if somebody had told me a few months ago that I'd be stood at the end of my drive on an evening applauding people who are working in the care sector, I wouldn't have believed it or whatever there. But when you see your whole street out there, then you realize what a difference people are making in the care sector as a whole. So, you know, people look for different things in a career and in life, but it certainly seems to be one of those very rewarding sectors that people get more out of it than just money, I would say. And you know, for a lot of people, you probably reflect on your career at the end of it and look back. And I think most of the people that have worked and in the care sector generally have a good, warm feeling about them, that they've done some good. The fact that it's a damn resilient sector as well, and we'll have plenty of jobs going into the future, is also a big bonus, I would suggest, at this moment in time.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. And I think 2021 is going to offer up a lot of change for everybody. It's going to be a year of significant change for everybody, and hopefully in a good way, obviously. Better than 2020, certainly. But
yeah, I mean, 2020 has been a funny year, but it's probably just accelerated some of the change that was happening anyway, right? You know, some of the trends that were starting to evolve, I think 2020 has fast forwarded some of those things. So yeah, it couldn't be worse, could it? It's got to be a better year for all of us, I would think, 2021.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it for now. I'd like to end the session by saying thank you for logging on and for participating. We really do appreciate your support. And I hope you've all enjoyed the evening and everything we've discussed. My thanks to our MC2 production team for their hard work in bringing this live stream to you. And finally, thank you both Steve and Lauren for your valuable insight this evening. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you and goodbye.
Great. Thanks, Ben. Bye.